We have a team of storm trackers out there right now keeping an eye on those trouble spots. Let's start with Marshall Zellinger. And Marshall, conditions are changing as those temperatures drop.
Yeah, what should be a trouble spot, we thought here behind me is Hamden. We're just west of I-25. This hill has been known to gobble up a lot of cars, especially as the snow is still coming down in the afternoon, evening commute. But we just saw 4 CDOT plows come here, make a U-turn, and come up the hill back toward I-25. So it's clearly a spot that CDOT is well aware of and prepared for. You can see the roadway, again, Hamden Avenue, covered in snow, but you can still see some pavement on the ground. But just because you can see the pavement does not mean you get good traction. And hopefully, just as I planned, a car would show up in the middle of the report, but it's got some traffic. We're going to watch it go right, because look in front of its right tire. Here it goes. Well, didn't spin as much as I thought. At 5 o'clock, I was recommending just if your tire spins, don't hit the gas because it's just going to cause problems. This mark right here was from a vehicle probably 3 minutes ago, and when it couldn't get the traction, the person thought, well, I'll just hit the gas some more, and it just spun and spun and spun. Because when your tire is on this, it really is ice and not pavement, even though it looks like that. One quick look at a side road here just off of Hamden. These are not going to see any plows. This is just matted down from drivers coming through here. And as we showed you at 5, underneath this powder could be pavement or could be ice, and it's really just a crapshoot of what your road looked like before the snow started falling again last night and into this morning. Reporting live, Marshall Zellinger, 7 News. Back to you, Eric and Jason.
And 7 News traffic reporter Jason Luber staying late with us tonight to keep you safe out on the roads. Quite a few trouble spots out there, right?
Yeah, and this is one of the trouble spots, as you can see. 270 has been fairly messy all afternoon long, and it's because there's been so many people that think that they can go faster than the conditions allow, unfortunately. Let's take a look at some of these CDOT cameras, and let me show you. The problem is going to be on that westbound side, just beyond the bridge. Unfortunately, you can't see the crash in the left lane there where traffic has stopped the brake lights. That's the westbound traffic there, and it's jammed up all the way across Commerce City, unfortunately, and it's been that way because of earlier problems. Look how bad I-70 is. Very heavy slow and go traffic in some of those areas, and then other areas are just dealing with, as Marshall was talking about, the snowy conditions. As the temperatures have fallen, we're starting to see more of the snow blow across the roadways. This is a good example of it here at C470 in Broadway, where you can see some of the snow blowing across C470. There is a rollover crash, a pretty bad one westbound here after Broadway, closer to Santa Fe, but these are the kind of conditions we're going to see for the rest of the night and then into tomorrow morning. So we are going to see a slow go commute. Depending on when we can see that snow end, that's when we're going to see the conditions of the roads improve dramatically.
Slow on the road, slow in the air. Flights at DIA delayed due to the snow and the need to de-ice. More than 161,000 people flying in and out of the airport here today, and many of them are coming back from Christmas vacation. At last check, 128 flights canceled. So it's always a good idea to check with your airlines before you head out to the airport. And we are tracking the snow and cold north of Denver. Major King live in Fort Collins, and Major, the temperature's really starting to drop there.
Hey, Eric, I'm starting to feel it now. You know, you're talking about those flights canceled. Fortunately, my mother and father-in-law made it back to Mesquite, Nevada this morning, so good for them. They're back where it's warmer. It's cold out. I think it was maybe no warmer than 13 degrees up here in Fort Collins. I'm down on Linden Street in Old Town, and it's down to about 8 degrees now. Earlier today, we just caught up with some folks just, you know, doing their business. Maybe they had to go to work. Maybe they were returning some Christmas presents, whatever. Not a lot of traffic in Old Town today, but folks were generally dressed for it. I saw one guy wearing, with bare fingers, gripping his coffee with no gloves on. Even a woman riding a bicycle. It is Fort Collins after all. But bottom line is, when it gets this cold, it can be bitter. And if your car breaks down and you're stuck on the road and you have to walk and you weren't expecting that, or if you're up on a hike and you get lost, it is very dangerous, and you could very easily become hypothermic.
As far as actually the hypothermia, if we see people that are starting to get confused, they're getting lethargic, they're making decisions which seem wrong, acting a little irrational, and the family notices things like that, that's when you got to begin to wonder about the hypothermia, which is kind of a general systemic effect of the cold.
And of course, we're very concerned about the homeless folks. Like some of them waiting outside for the dinner at the Fort Collins Rescue Mission tonight. They should be taken care of. I spoke with 2 different directors of the shelters up here in Fort Collins, and they've never had to turn anybody away. They've got that new women's shelter that is an overflow shelter for women, so they should be good to go on that. Guys, this is the balmy part. Tomorrow it's going to get even colder, so we'll toss it back to Matt Makins and tell us exactly how cold it's going to get. Matt?
Well, many of us are falling below 0 already, Marshall. 3 below in Blackhawk. Castle Rock is very close at 1 degree. Denver is 6. And the power plant over the next 12 hours. Look where Denver is headed. From 7 to midnight, we're down below 0 at -2. Right at midnight, we're down to 8 below 0 for 5 and 6 a.m.